Pilipino, kayo ang takbuhan. Salamat po sa patuloy na utos. Kami sa'y gano'y naging maayos. Salamat po sa inyo, may naging kayo. Relasyon ay daan sa bawat tao. Salamat po sa inyo, salamat sa patuloy. Mag-alagang kapag na totoo. Namalas na usugan, huwag kang mag-iwan. Sa bawat Pilipino, kayo ang takbuhan.
Good morning mga katusok! Bagong araw, bagong simula. And recently, we have been celebrating World Transplant Day 2023, bearing the theme, A Vision for Future Healthcare. Mga katusok, I am Alanisa Naim, and you are watching Salamat Doc Online. In today's episode of Salamat Doc Online, we are going to talk about solid organ transplantation. We have invited here with us Dr. Salapare and Dr. Marmida from Batangas City Medical Center and our beloved celebrity Dr. Sulit, Dr. Vergara, and Dr. Molina from TikTok Association of Medical Doctors. Oh, it seems like we have our first caller for today's episode.
Good morning, Zizis! I have concern po. I'm currently a medical laboratory science student and we have an activity regarding solid organ transplantation. Ano po ba yung tinatawag nilang solid organ transplantation?
So, a solid organ transplant refers to the surgical procedure of replacing a damaged or non-functioning organ in the body with a healthy organ from the donor. So, mga organ ito, this involves mga may sakit sa puso, mga heart, intestines, mga kidney, and kahit sa mga cornea ng mga mata. So, yun, pwede siyang i-transplant. So, this is for the, para bumalik na mag-function yung organ na nasira sa isang patient. Ganun.
Ano po ba ang kadalasang nagiging problema sa solid organ transplantation?
Okay, there are several factors that being considered in organ transplantation. First is the organ compatibility and matching, which we ensures the compatibility between the donor and recipient, in crucial to minimize the risk of organ rejection. Second is the organ preservation. Organs have a limited viability outside the body, and preserving them properly during transportation and before transplantation is critical. Third, organ rejection. The recipient's immune system may recognize transplanted organ as foreign and mount immune response leading to organ rejection. Lastly is the post-transplant complications. Organ transplantation carries the risk of various complications including infections, organ dysfunction, surgical complications, and side effects from immunosuppressive medications.
Ano naman po ang role ng MHC sa organ transplantation?
So yung MHC ay yung tinatawag na Major Histocompatibility Complex, which is a group of genes that play crucial role in the immune system recognition of the self and non-self. So itong mga MHC molecules na to, they are present in the surface of the cells in our body, and sila yung nagre-present ng mga antigens to the immune system, which is called the T lymphocytes. So we have two major classes. So MHC class 1, siya yung nagpe-play ng crucial role in presenting the intracellular antigens to cytotoxic T cell. So if there is a significant mismatch between the donor and the recipient MHC class 1, magkakameron ng trigger ng immune response which can lead to organ rejection. Yun namang MHC class 2, yun naman yung responsible for presenting extracellular antigens to helper T cells or yung CD4 natin And kapag nagkameron ng mismatch doon between the donor and the recipient, magko-contribute din siya sa immune response. So napakahalaga nitong major histocompatibility complex kasi kailangan makita yon between the donor and the recipient para ma-minimize natin yung risk between the organ rejection.
Ano naman po ang relationship ng MHC and HLA?
Human leukocyte antigen is a system of genes located within the MHC region in humans. The term HLA and MHC are often used interchangeably, as HLA genes encode the protein known as MHC molecules. So basically, there are three main classes of HLA genes. First is HLA class 1 or HLA class 1 genes such as HLA-A, HLA-B, and HLA-C, which are encoded in the MHC class 1 molecules. They play a key role in presenting intracellular antigens to cytotoxic T cells. Second is HLA class 2, HLA class 2 genes such as HLA-DR, HLA-DP, and HLA-DQ. They are encoded in the MHC class 2 molecules. They are responsible for presenting extracellular antigens to helper T cells. And lastly, our HLA class 3, they are located within the MHC region but are not involved in the antigen presentation. But instead, they are encoded various other immune-related proteins such as complement components and cytokines.
How can you determine the compatibility of potential transplant recipient and donor? Is there any test for evaluation?
The compatibility between a potential transplant recipient and donor is determined through the process called HLA typing or tissue typing. This HLA typing involves assessing the human leukocyte antigens or the HLA present in the recipient and donor to evaluate the level of matching. There are tests that are used to evaluate. This includes the blood typing, cross-matching, HLA typing, which categorized into serological typing and DNA-based typing. In blood typing, it is the first step to determine the blood types of the recipient and the donor. Blood type compatibility is crucial, particularly for solid organ transplants such as kidney or liver transplants to prevent immediate rejection. Second is the cross-matching. Cross-matching is performed to assess the compatibility at a cellular level and detect any pre-existing antibodies in the recipients against the donor. Third is the HLA typing. It is performed to evaluate the compatibility of HLA antigens between the recipient and the donor. This involves the analyzing specific HLA genes. The two types of HLA typing used for organ transplantation is the serological typing and the DNA-based typing. Serological typing is also known as a serotyping. It's an older method that uses antibodies to detect specific HLA antigens. Blood samples from the recipient and donor are mixed with known antibodies targeting the different HLA antigens. The second is the DNA-based typing. DNA-based methods offer a higher resolution and a level specificity. They involve analyzing the DNA sequences of the specific HLA genes to identify the specific alleles present in it. Some common DNA-based HLA typing methods include the sequence-specific oligonucleotide probes. Second is the sequence-specific primers. Third is the sequence-based typing. And lastly, the next generation sequencing.
How and why does graft versus host disease occurs?
So yung graft versus host disease, nangyayari lang to kapag yung immune cell from the transplanted graft ay nire-recognize niya yung recipient tissue as a foreign and attack them. So once the donor T cell recognize the recipient tissue as foreign, nagiging activated and nagsistart na mag-release ng mga harmful substances like cytokines and cytotoxic molecules. So yung substances na yon magkakause yun ng inflammation at madadamage yung mga various organs. And because of that, magkakameron tayo ng symptoms leading to complication of both graft versus host disease. So ang risk nito, mas mataas siya if there is a great difference kapag sa kanilang human leukocyte antigen. And the severity can vary from mild to severe, and it can occur in 2 phases. So if it is acute, nagde-develop siya within months or after the transplantation, and if it is chronic, nag-occur siya during the latter stage.
Ano naman po ang mga clinical signs and symptoms ng graft versus host disease?
Ang mga sintomas ng acute GVHD o graft versus host disease ay rashes, pamumula, pangangati, diarrhea, nausea, cramping, vomiting, and loss of appetite. Maaari ding makita dito ang jaundice, lagnat, fatigue, at weight loss. Sa chronic GVHD o graft versus host disease, maaari ding makita dito ang panunuyo ng balat, change in skin color, skin lesions, persistent or recurrent diarrhea, abdominal pain, poor appetite, and difficulty in swallowing. Maaari din makita dito ang jaundice katulad ng sa acute GVHD. Pero mas malala ito dahil meron pa itong mga sintomas katulad ng pamumula ng mata, sensitivity to light, blurred vision, and eye pain. Nahihirapan din sa pagkain, sa paglunok. Mararanasan din dito ang pag-ubo, shortness of breath, wheezing, at lung inflammation. Katulad ng sa acute, maaari din dito maranasan ng weight loss, fatigue, at hair loss.
For my last question po, what do you think are the possible complications that might happen during and after the organ transplantation?
Maaaring maranasan dito ang organ rejection at infection. Ito ay pwedeng maaaring bacterial o viral. May mga mararanasan din kapag gumamit ng immunosuppressive drugs. Ang ibang side effects dito ay susceptibility sa infection, weight gain, high blood pressure, kidney problems, osteoporosis, diabetes, high cholesterol levels, and increase sa risk ng pagkakaroon ng cancer.
Solid organ transplantation is a treatment, not a cure for end-stage organ failure of the kidney, liver, pancreas, heart, and lung. Small intestine and vascularized composite allografts are performed in smaller numbers at specialized centers throughout the country. The benefits of organ replacements coexist with the risks of the immediate procedure, followed by the risk of chronic immunosuppression. Thus, not all patients with organ failure are transplant candidates.
That is all, Miss Scholar. I hope nakatulong and you learned a lot. Good luck sa journey! And konti na lang, fighting lang palagi. Yes naman, we are down to our last segment. Thank you so much, Scholar, and to our special guests for their priceless time. Dr. Sulit, Dr. Vergara, Dr. Mermida, Dr. Salapare, and Dr. Molina. This has been you, Salamat Doc Online, reaching people in need of medical care and advice by bringing doctors and information you via television. Good afternoon, mga puso. Bagong araw, bagong simula. And recently, we have been celebrating World Solid Transplantation Day.
Dr. Salapare, tapos ipo-focus doon. Tapos, mag-hi ka. Dr. Nakapicture na. Basta parang isuzoom mo na lang. Tapos, isuzoom. Tapos ay, baby Dayan. Maganda talaga yan. Tapos si Molina. Yun.
Solid organ transplant refers to the surgical procedure of replacing a damaged organ from the...
So, MHC stands for Major Histocompatibility Complex, which is a So, our human leukocyte antigen is a system of genes located within our MHC histocompatibility complex region in humans. The term wait lang. Go.